Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Grandmaster Shaymin, and today we are going to be playing a visual novel called Everlasting Summer. I'm sure you guys have probably heard of it, especially if you're here. If not, it is free from the Steam store, so you can get it down in the description below. So make sure you check that out if you're interested. I will only be playing this once through. I'm not going to be playing, every single route or whatever. I'm not really sure what um, this game will entail in that department, but all right, I'm gonna get right on into it. Hmm. All right. Let's check out these settings. Ambiance. Get the ambiance. Language. Show achievements. Nah, that's all right. Okay, pretty good. We'll go back then. Start a new game. I was having that dream once again. That dream. The same thing every night. But it's all forgotten in the morning as usual. Maybe it's for the best. Only a glimpse of memory will remain, of gates half opened, as if invited me somewhere, with two frozen stone pioneers standing close by. Also, that strange girl who keeps asking me, "Will you come with me?" Where? And why? And where am I anyway? Of course, if it all happened in real life, I would certainly have been scared. What else would one expect to feel? I'm not gonna lie, the whole frizzy screen thing is kind of creepy, what? But this is just a dream. The same one I see every night. There must be a reason. You don't have to know where or why to realize something is really happening. Something desperately seeking my attention. Since everything that surrounds me here is real. As real as things in my own flat. I could open the gates, hear the hinges creak, brush the crumbling rust away with my hand, inhale the fresh, cool air, and shiver from the cold. I could, but to do that I would need to pick myself up, take a step, move my hand. But this is a dream. I understand that. But what of it? What does my understanding change? Because here, it's just like on the other side of the cracked screen of an old TV, which struggles to fight against the static noise and strives to show its audience everything without missing a single detail. But the picture is getting blurry. I must be waking up soon. Yo, the owl looked at me. Did you see that? He opened his eyes. Ellipses. Opened his eyes again. Maybe I should ask her something. Where is this chick anyway? I don't see her. Kobehok. I don't know what that means in Russian, but it's something. Maybe I should ask her something. The girl. What's her name? About the stars, for instance. Why the stars, though? I'd rather ask about the gates. Yes, the gates. She would be so surprised. Or better, why the dot over an I is called a tittle, but the dot over a J was called a superscript dot. That's a very good question. What? I never really thought of it before. But they have a point, you know. Technically, the I and the J, the little dot, is called something different, and I don't know why. Why would you just go up to a random chick and say that, though? That's my question. Nice letters. What? As if they don't exist anymore. Still, what do letters, gates, and stars have to do with this place? Well, I mean, there's a gate right in front of you, so that's probably what that is. And there's an E with 2 dots there, which has nothing to do with the I or the J, but still, there's dots. You know, it could lead you into this train of thought. Because even if I was having this dream every night, which will be forgotten soon anyway, I've got to look for answers here and now. And there, if you look carefully, you'll see the Magellanic Gate clouds. Magellanic? As if I'd ended up in the southern hemisphere. Ellipses. Why does it, like, black out and then come back to the same screen? Holy shit, words. In a dream, there are the small things that catch your attention, the unnatural color of the grass, impossible curves of straight lines, or your own distorted reflection, while the real danger, which could put an end to everything right here and now, seems trivial. It's natural, since here you cannot die. That's what you think. I've watched enough TV shows to know that you can definitely die in a dream and then die in real life. Because TV shows are real. So you know. I know it for sure. I've done it 100 times. Well, okay. But if you cannot die, is there a point in living? I mean, probably. I should ask the girl. She's a local. She should know. How do you know she's a local? You don't even remember her name. How do you know that she's a local? She could be visiting. Yes, exactly. I should ask about the owl, for example. That's a good... I agree. And if it's the daytime, it seems kind of like a mix. Then it should not open its eyes randomly. Like, right there, I see it. Though it doesn't matter. Ellipses. Will you come with me? And every time I have to answer. It's the only way, otherwise the dream will never end, and I will never wake up. What? Yeah. I'm gonna probably end up getting killed that way. Well, I mean, I can't die. This is a dream. Bam! Hell yeah. Every time, it's so hard to decide the answer. Why? Why would you be like, nah, pff. What else do I got to do in this place? Sure. Where am I? What am I doing here? Who is she? And why does so much in my life depend on this answer? I mean, does it though? It's just your dream. Like, or maybe it doesn't. Thank you. That's what I said. Just a dream. Now he's gonna wake up and there's gonna be some chick there that he... I wonder if I clicked no, it would just never... Oh my goodness. It's blurry as fuck. Oh, look, the keyboard. Hey, it's got the English alphabet on it. That's pretty dope. I mean, to be fair, the words were in Russian. Okay. Whoa. Wait, is that the chick from Lazy Town? What in the hell was that? Yes, it is! That's the chick from Lazy Town. Why? Wait, what even is this? I'm trying to read here. I cannot read that from this far. I think they did that on purpose, but not to mention, I think it's in Russian. Not English, that's for sure. That's weird, though. They have this little pack there at the bottom, which I think is in Japanese. It's really difficult to tell, and that's the chick from Lazy Town. Why? I don't understand. The computer screen stared at me as if it were alive. You probably shouldn't be falling asleep at your computer desk. That's really bad for your back. Oh, now my eyes are closed and now my eyes are open. Sometimes it really did seem to me that I was conscious of it. It was conscious of itself, had its own thoughts, wishes, ambitions, that it had feelings, could love and suffer. I mean, I don't know how it feels about having the chick from Lazy Town on their thing. And I don't know what this picture is right here. But it's kind of creepy. Not gonna lie. As if in our relationship the screen wasn't an instrument, it was me who was a lifeless piece of plastic and textile. I mean, not to say anything, but you kinda are, technically. There is some truth in that, probably because the computer provides 90% of my communication with the outside world. I mean, that's how most people are, I think. Anonymous image boards, some chats from time to time, rarely ICQ or Jabber, and forums even more rarely. I mean, but you're on one right now, aren't you? People on the other end of the internet cable simply do not exist. All of them are simply creations of its sick imagination, an error in the source code or a kernel bug, which started living a life of its own. Okay. I mean, that's one way of thinking about it. Ooh, whoa, lights. That's actually kind of neat. It doesn't look that bad, that too animated. If one looked at my existence from the outside, such thoughts would seem crazy, and a psychologist would surely give me a bunch of sophisticated diagnoses, and maybe write me a doctor's referral to the loony bin. I mean, you do sound kind of crazy. Might be good for you. Just saying. I don't know how you're gonna get a chick to fall in love with you. Just throwing it out there. Look at that. A small apartment with no signs of repair or any semblance of order in it, and always the same view out the window on the gray megapolis, running somewhere day and night. Such are the conditions of my life. You know, that's just how it be, man. That just be how it be. Well, of course, it didn't all start like this. I was born, went to school, and finished it like all the others. I was accepted at a university where I spent a year and a half trailing behind and struggling. I drifted through several jobs. Sometimes it was working quite well. Sometimes I was getting decent money for it. But it all felt like it was not mine, as if taken from another man's biography. I wasn't living life to the fullest. It was looping over and over in a monotonous circles, like the movie Groundhog Day. What's with the random reference? And if this is Russian, why do they even care about Groundhog Day of all the freaking movies? It's just that I had no choice in how to spend my day, and every day repeated itself, the same vicious spiral. A spiral of emptiness, misery, and despair. You know, I can kind of relate, but that's why you gotta make that choice. You gotta be that person. You gotta go out there and you gotta be like, you know what? I have this time. I could be doing absolutely nothing with my time, but instead I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna do something interesting, something that I want to do. I mean, because see, he's surfing around random message boards. He could be doing something. I don't care what it is. Watch an anime, something that's fulfilling to you. Watch an anime, for example. It's very fulfilling. For the last few years, I just sat in front of the screen all day. Sometimes there were menial jobs. Sometimes my parents helped me. All in all, I was able to provide for myself. But if your parents helped you, then did you really provide for yourself? No wonder, really, since my needs are quite minor. I hardly ever leave home, and my communication with other people almost exclusively consists of online correspondence with the anonymous, who have no real name, no gender, no age. Shit, man, I feel like he's talking about me, at least with that line. So in brief, a quite typical life of a quite typical antisocial person of his time. Kind of Donnie Darko on a minor scale, without doomsday-related visions. So many random references. Maybe some highly respected... That's not how you spell author. It's a good try, though. Will write a novel about me, and it will become a contemporary classic of modern literature. Or I will write one myself. However, what's the point of fooling myself? I've tried many times, but couldn't even come up with a simple short story. Well, By God, man. How do you not come up with a single short story? You're on forums all day. You could write about anything. I mean, a short story could even consist of like 300 words, like tiny. I tried to learn many things, many other things as well. Not gifted enough to draw, me neither, buddy. Program, got bored. Never tried programming, never will. Foreign languages take too much time. Fair. But, I mean, it gives you something to do, though. I mean, that's what I'm doing. The only thing I loved doing was reading, but I still never would call myself a scholar. Well, you know, people can read all the time and not be a scholar. What do you think fiction's for? Perhaps I was an ace at watching anime and a grandmaster of lame internet jokes. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with watching anime and making random internet jokes? I mean, let's be real. Like, half the people on this planet do that. Probably a very, very rough estimate, but, you know, it's something like that. If I were to get paid for it, I probably would be a happier person. But I doubt it would fill the hole inside me. I mean, I'd be a happier person, but it's all good. Oh, it's snowing! That's actually a really nice photo for a free game. Like, the graphics in this are pretty decent. Though I will admit the text is kind of, you know, annoying. At least the way that they did it. And not enough stuff here. But today was another typical day of a total failure's typical life. And today is the day when I have to go to my university reunion. Frankly speaking, I really didn't want to. You spent a year and a half with them. The time I spent with them is so short. I agree. However, I was persuaded by a friend. You have a friend? You make it sound like you're the most freaking lonely person in the world who never does anything, but you got a friend. My former university mate and one of the few whom I kept in touch other than through the internet. Well, you're solid. You got a friend. Go. Sounds good to me. Ooh. What is that? Oh. That seemed odd. I thought this was everlasting summer. Is it? It's winter. Decent sound effects. That's actually what it sounds like when you step in snow. Holy shit! He's older than I thought. I mean, I know he's past college and stuff, but like, I thought it was like 29. I mean, maybe he is actually. He just looks older than that. A frosty evening, bus stop, waiting. I never liked winter, though hot summer is not my season either. That's why you go for fall or spring. Those are definitely the two best seasons. Where I live, though, there's no such thing as spring, apparently. I mean, legitimately, it was winter and then maybe a week and a half and then bam, hot. Straight up. It's just that I see no reason to point out any particular time of the year. It doesn't matter much what the weather is outside when you stay at home 24/7. Dude, this guy is so boring. My goodness. Like, holy shit, how is some chick gonna be able to fall in love with this guy? He is, like, legitimately has Roman Reigns' charisma and just talks like a freaking, I don't know, drying paint. I know it sounds weird, but that's the only analogy I got for you. The bus today was running so late that I was about to curse it all and spend my last few hundred rubles for a tax. Rubles? Is that the Russian currency? For a taxi? The idea of just returning home didn't cross my mind for some reason. I'm sure that's what it was. As usual, millions of thoughts flew through my mind, but there was not a single useful one to seize on. Such a thought that I could bring into existence, give a shape, turn into an idea, and put into practice. Maybe I should start my own business, but where would I get the money from? That's a good question. Or maybe I can go back to working in an office. No way. Maybe I should try freelancing. Oh, wait. Freelancing. There we go. But what skills do I have, and who would want me after all? Dude, this guy overthinks like I do. But I mean, I at least believe I'm a little bit more interesting than this guy. At least I hope so. I really do. Because we have a lot of similarities, but I feel like I have a personality, hopefully. I suddenly remembered my childhood. That's random, okay. Or rather, my teen years. The time when I was 15 to 17 years old. That's oddly specific yet unspecific. Really odd grouping. Not to mention the fact that what happened to the taxi? Like, did you actually get the taxi? Did someone show up? You said you were about to call for a taxi, but you didn't. And then you just suddenly remember your childhood? It's all over the place. Why exactly those years? No idea. I guess it's because back then everything seemed much more simple. It does. I'm not gonna lie. 15 to 17 is definitely the years where you think everything's gonna be good, and then 18 through 21 is about when you give up hope on the rest of your life. Unless you're like one of the select few. I was not. It was easier to make decisions, so complicated now and so simple then. Waking up in the morning, I knew exactly how my day was going to pass, and I always eagerly looked forward to the weekend. Then I could get some rest, have time for things I liked, computer, football, going out with friends. That's... Outside of the last part, computer and football are two great things. I wonder if this is Russian. Does he mean soccer? I'm kind of curious. But I'm also curious, like, how do you work now? Do you not know how your day was going to pass? Like, is he jobless? I don't know. It's kind of vague on his current job predicament, and not to mention like this nonsense. If he went out with friends, what happened to him? And then at the beginning of the week, I would take up my studies again. Back then, there were no such worryings as to why or who needs it, or what will change if I do it, or what will not change. A simple lifestyle, so casual for any normal person and so odd to myself today. The careless childhood age. It was also where I met my first love. Her appearance and personality have vanished from my memory. Only her name remains, like a brief line from a social network profile, along with the feelings which overwhelmed me when I was with her. Affection, tenderness, the desire to care for her and protect her. Sadly, it didn't last long. Today, I can hardly imagine something like that happening. I would probably like to meet a girl, but I don't know how to start a conversation, what on earth to discuss, or how to attract her. Well, I haven't met any suitable girls for a long time, but where could I meet one anyway? It's a good question. Hey, we're back. We're back. It's the bus. The sound of the engine brought me back to reality. The bus pulled over. There was something abnormal about it, though. Then again, it doesn't matter. Only the 410 runs this route. I mean, it says 410 right there. Whoa. Streetlights pass me by. It's as if the cold light sparks inside me, trying to ignite feelings long dead. Or maybe not ignite, just awaken. Because those feelings, they have been living inside me for a long time. Slumbering and waking again. The driver's radio was playing some very familiar tune, but I wasn't listening to it. I was watching the cars pass by the fogged-up window. Because people are always rushing somewhere, chasing something they need, stuck in their own little worlds, why would they care about mine? They probably have their own serious problems, or maybe they have much easier lives. You can't know for sure since all people are different. Or are they? Sometimes someone's actions can be easily predicted, but if you try to look inside their soul, you will only see the impenetrable darkness. Ellipses. The bus was approaching downtown, and my thoughts were interrupted by the bright city lights. Hundreds of billboards, thousands of cars, millions of people. Damn, what city is this? Not to mention, I gotta say, that poster right there in the middle here. Is that for a game or something? And what is this? It seems odd. Her legs are so long. They're way over half of her body length. Look at this. It's like that much, and then like this is like that much. My eyes closed for just a moment, and then oh. Oh, yo, it's moving. Interesting. The animation's really interesting. Oh, I like the eye. So these are our choices. I'm kind of curious. So I'm kind of curious on how this story is going. Because sure, you know, it's a story. They can go back in time or something, but is his personality going to change? Because, hey, look, it's Miku. I'm curious. I'm kind of unsure about how the story is going. Day 1. Dun dun dun. Bright daylight struck my eyes. First, I didn't pay attention. I wasn't fully awake yet. On their own, my legs carried me towards the door. Semyon. Damn, it looks like I fell asleep and I missed my stop. But there was no door. I looked around the bus and realized that it wasn't a good old worn-out Liaz. Instead, the bus was a Icarus model, a new one. I froze in shock. How? What? Am I dead? Have I been kidnapped? No, I must be dead. I patted myself down feverishly, slapped myself painfully in the face a few times, banged my forehead on the back of one of the bus seats. It's clear, either I'm still alive or you can still feel pain when you're dead. But how could this happen? Maybe I slept for too long and ended up at the bus depot? And then what? Did they put me on another bus? I rushed out and took a look around. Greenery wherever I looked, tall grass on the roadside, trees, flowers. Summer. But how? It was winter just a moment ago. My head was aching unbearably, as if it was going to explode. Suddenly I began to remember. Oh. A long road running off into the distance. Forests, plains, fields, lakes, and forests again. I think I was sleeping, but then can I remember all of it? And then, a gap. Some girl leaning over me. She softly whispered something in my ear. Then a gap again. Huh. So, you didn't go back in time then, right? And then I woke up here. Who was that strange girl? Or was she just a dream? For some reason, thinking about her made me feel better and calmed me down a little bit. I felt warmth all over, coming from the inside. What? Could it be her who brought me here? Then I need to find her, and the best place to look for her is away from here. I rushed to the left, then the right, then stopped, hesitating over where to go. Finally, I ran in the direction from which the bus had probably came. Ellipses. Ellipses. Physical exercise does not refresh one's mind. Or does refresh one's mind. Thoughts become clearer and it becomes a little easier to evaluate the surrounding reality. Not in my case, however. I was sitting on the roadside wheezing and trying to ease my sore throat by gulping breaths of hot air. In any case, the run did its job. The fear withdrew for a while. Maybe I really am just dreaming. Though recalling my self-harm on the bus, I immediately rejected the idea. I'm neither dreaming nor dead. I mean, you still don't know if you're dead yet. I'm just saying, there's always that possibility. Hell, we could all be dead, for that matter. Who knows, maybe we're just reincarnations of past people, but with their memories erased. A narrow road ran through the field and far into the distance. That exact same road from my dream. I must be very far away from home. And it's not just that it was winter yesterday and summer now. It's that the whole environment. Of course, summer is usually like this, green and hot, but here everything is not entirely lifelike. Everything looks like it was taken from paintings of Russian landscape artists from the 19th century. The grass is too lush, the bushes are not like what bushes should be like. They're so thick and you can't see anything through them. Like treetops, honestly. And the trees themselves, the forest was quite far away, but the trees looked as if they had closed their ranks and were now just waiting for the order to advance onto the fields and plains. I caught my breath and looked at the bus, which was now barely visible. That was a good run. Fear overtook me once again. Those power lines. There must be people here, but what does that mean? In fact, that means nothing at all. Couldn't they have power lines even in hell? I mean, I thought this person had dismissed the fact that he could be dead, but I mean, now he's all of a sudden considering it again. Roasting sinners over hot coals? That's so last century. Must have reached the point of no return, after which you should either lose your mind completely or finally try to understand what is going on. And while I still have a choice, I should pick the second option. I slowly head back to the bus. Of course it was scary, but I'm not likely to find an answer in the fields or woods, and this wretched bucket of bolts is the only link that I have with the real world. Ellipses. I should carefully scout the area. A brick wall and its gates crowned with a Svoyonok sign. So an owlet sign. Statues of pioneers standing on either side and a road sign nearly showing the bus route number 410. This trip's taking a bit too long today. I smirked. A person may start acting inappropriately in extreme situations. Something like that is probably happening to me right now. This place doesn't look abandoned at all. No rust on the gates, no damage on the walls. Svonok. What could have a name like that? Judging by the pioneer statues, it could be a kid's summer camp. Moreover, it appears to be open. Of course, the simplest explanation, logically speaking, explains nothing at all. The strange girl, the altered bus, summer, the pioneer camp. Thousands of theories went through my mind instantly, from alien abduction to lethargic sleep, from a hallucination to time-space shift. None was worse than any other, but there was no way to pick a single one. Then it occurred to me I can try and make a phone call. I took out my cell phone and dialed the first number on my contact list. But instead of signal strength bars, the screen was showing a thick cross. Alright, there's maybe no signal in such a remote place, though I cannot be the only one who came here. Buses don't drive themselves. You still don't know that. What if those power lines are actually power lines of the future? And the bus really does drive itself in the future. You don't know. Like, look over here at this little thing. The statue has air vents in it. Maybe there's something beneath the surface. I examined the bus from all sides to make sure that it wasn't a hallucination. Bits of dust on the bottom, some rust here and there, faded paint and worn out tires. No, this is definitely a very ordinary Icarus. Yeah, exactly the kind of bus which takes you to places beyond your understanding if you carelessly fall asleep. I gave a nervous chuckle. It came out by itself sporadically, because this wasn't the right place or time to laugh. But where on earth was the driver? I cautiously sat down on the curb beside the bus and started to wait. Ellipses. My patience didn't last very long. My anxiety seemed to reach its peak, and I started to go slightly mad. In such a situation, anyone would probably felt something similar. Honestly, I probably would have went through the gate. I mean, I might have died. There could have been some massive horror killer on the other side, but I probably would have tried to go inside the park because the gate's wide ass open. But instead, this guy's just gonna wait here. I don't know if that's a good idea. Aliens and parallel universes were gone from my imagination, leaving only void and darkness. Holy shit. Is this how everything will end? How my life will end? But I wanted to do so much. There were so many things I had no time for yet. What? Wait, there's so many things that he wanted, but he chose to do none of them and sit there and play on his computer. Like, if you wanted to do something else, you should just do it. You don't have, that long of a life, Just throwing it out there. I mean, this is getting too real right now, but still, like, I'm learning Japanese because I want to learn Japanese, and if I wait any longer, it's not going to do anything for me. I'm not going to get anywhere. This dude sits on his computer and looks at forums and talks to random strangers on the internet. Like, come on. I was overwhelmed by the idea this was definitely the end. But why? This was definitely the end? You're sitting on the curb, everything seems fine, and you're just like, it's not fair. Surely I'm no worse than anyone else. God, why? Oh, boo-hoo. Cry me a freaking river. Jeez. Tears were burning my eyes unbearably. I curled up and started rolling in the grass. I don't like this guy. I really, really don't like this guy. Why would you roll around in the grass crying? Like, sit there with your arms in your face, feeling pity for yourself, even though you've done nothing to advance your life at all. Like, it's on you. I know it sucks. I would probably cry too if I was, your age and I didn't try to even accomplish anything. But, like, come on, dude. Rolling around in the grass. Why? What did I do? Why? God, he's such a crybaby. Oh my goodness. All I've heard is complaint after complaint after complaint from this guy. He is such a bad main character. Holy Jesus. Luckily, in a gal game, the main character doesn't matter as much. So let's just wait until the gals show up and save everything. Hopefully. But my cries were only heard by the speechless statues of the pioneers and a bird on a tree, which immediately flapped its wings and took off, crying out something in its own bird language, as if laughing at the idiot who dared interrupt its after-dinner nap. After dinner? I mean, it looks like it's the middle of the day. I was left breathless from weeping and just lay quietly, sobbing occasionally. Ellipses. After a while, I managed to pull myself together. My mind cleared up a bit, and as if the terror and fear of death gave me a little break. All in all, if someone wanted to kill me, what is all this for? Why would they take you on a bus and then leave you there? If they wanted to kill you, they would just stab you. That, or they would, like, put you somewhere. They would lock the door of the bus, for example. Trap you inside. I don't know. Definitely doesn't seem like someone's wanting to kill you. Doesn't look like an experiment either. If this is just some crazy coincidence, then there's probably no threat. Anyway, for now it seems there's no danger. Thank you for finally seeing something. Jesus. The panic was soon gone. After how long, though? Like, of course, the blood was still pounding in my temples. My hands were still shaking, but at least I could think clearly now. Right now there is nothing I can really change anyway. So no matter how much I think or how mad I get, it will only make things worse. There you go. Go into the goddamn gates. Figure this out. Until some actual facts appear, there is really no point in making guesses. In any case, I won't learn anything by lounging about here. The camp, if of course it is really a camp, looked like the only place where people could be, so I decided to go there, and hardly had I reached the gates when a girl came out from behind them. See, look what you do when you freaking go somewhere. Wearing a pioneer uniform. That's what a pioneer uniform looks like? What does that even mean? You seem so, in tune with the pioneer uniform trends. I don't know what that says about the main character. I already don't like the guy, but, I mean, that seems a bit obnoxious. I feel like real pioneers would have something to say about that outfit. Just saying. My logic didn't let me down this time. Yeah, because you've been so logical to this point. Then again, a pioneer uniform in the 21st century, and then again, a girl here? That doesn't look like a pioneer uniform. Like, I don't think so. I froze, unable to take a step. I felt very much like running away, running as far away as I could from this place. Far, far from the bus, gates, statues, and far from this bloody bird and its cesta. Siesta? God, this main character. Holy jeez. Just running free like the wind, faster and faster, waving to the planets passing by, winking at the galaxies. Why? We get it. You're running far away. Okay? You're running really, really far away. Where it's whatever that from this place. Holy shit, she came closer. Meanwhile, the girl came closer and smiled. I could not help but notice her beauty, even though I was trembling in fear. Yeah, she's cute, but like, why is she not saying anything? Normally, though, someone would peer by the gate and they'd be like, hey, what's up? No, but she's just like staring at this guy and she just slowly walks forward. Human instinct works independent of consciousness. While only 5% of the brain is responsible for cognitive processes, the remaining 95% is always busy sustaining life and, in particular, ensuring stable functioning of the hormonal system. Why is this dude so random? Like, why? I don't need to know that. Like, I mean, cool, I guess, but, like, you could just say it that you reacted to something. I just really wanted to get less complicated and stop thinking in formal quotes from an encyclopedia. Me too, dude. Though my thoughts appeared one by one, being stupid, out of place, as if taken from an internal monologue of the hero of some junky softcover crime fiction book. A pretty Slavic face, long braids that looked like 2 armfuls of fresh hay, and blue eyes you could drown in. Hey, you must have just arrived. Oh man. Should I stay in character or should I just be freaking logical? You know what? Fuck you. Reply. God damn, dude. Yeah. There you go. Alright then. Welcome. She smiled broadly. Strange, it looked as if I had just a normal girl in front of me. I shouldn't have returned here. The woods and fields seem better. But what should I do next? Try to speak with her as if she was a human, or run away, or what? She looks pretty human. Like, why are you just like, she must be an alien? Dude, this guy is freaking nuts. The blood was pumping unbearably in my head. Still, tearing it apart from the inside, a little bit more, and the poor pioneer girl would be splattered in with some gruesome contents of my skull. Really? Is that how it works? What's so funny about that? The girl looked me over. It sent shivers down my spine, and my knees started to tremble. Nothing. Great, then. Great? What's so great about that? Suddenly a thought crossed my mind. To hell with it all. Forget about the bus behind me. The fact that it's winter yesterday and summer today. I want to rip off my itchy sweater and just accept that all this is really happening. Everything is as it should be. All this is for the best. That's what you should have done from the beginning, Semyon. Would you happen to know? You should go to our camp leader. She'll tell you everything. Look, you go straight ahead to the square and then turn left. You'll see several small cabins. She pointed at the gates as if I knew what was behind them. Well, you can ask the Olga Dmitrievna's cabin is. Okay. Got it? Of course I didn't. What's so freaking hard to understand? You walk forward, you go to a freaking square, you turn left, and then you figure out where the cabin is. Jeez. This guy is so stupid. Well, I've got to go now. Bye! The girl waved her hand at me and disappeared through the gates. It seemed as if to her I was something ordinary. And all this show with the bus and the travels while awake or asleep were troubling only me, while everything here was just the way it was supposed to be. Camp leader, pioneer uniform, what are they doing in a historical reenactment here? I hope I won't find Lenin standing atop an armored car in this square. No idea what that is. But that would not even surprise me right now. After staying alone for a while, I headed into the camp. Frickin' finally. A mere 50 miles ahead, there was a small one-story house popped up on the left side. The sign near the door said, "Clubs." I was about to come closer. The door suddenly opened, and a short girl wearing a pioneer uniform came out. Her pretty face... this guy's so descriptive. Her pretty face gave me the impression of one suffering for the fate of the whole of mankind. It's a lot of freaking sounds. Alliteration, man. With a truly universal sorrow. Holy shit, I love her face, though. That face is cute. As soon as she saw me, the girl froze, as if frightened. I froze too, considering what was best to do, to approach first, or wait until she showed some initiative, or maybe run away after all. Although the last option was constantly being suggested only by my self-preservation instinct. Not the worst human instinct, but far from the most logical. If the instinct played poker against deductive abilities, the outcome would be predetermined. Okay? And those deductive abilities were hinting to me that there was no need to be afraid of this girl. So if this chick on the left is short, then the one on the right's got to be like 12, right? Suddenly, well, I know that the thing at the beginning said that all the girls are 18 and have, you know, agreed to participate in this visual novel or whatever it said. Suddenly, someone jumped out of the nearby bushes. Is this her theme music? Does she have theme music? That would be awesome. A girl wearing a bright red t-shirt with USSR written on it. That doesn't look like USSR, I'm just saying. That says CCCP. Such a perfect reproduction of the age. She looked quite short from a distance, probably was younger than both pioneer girls. The one at the gates and this girl at the door of the clubs. What is that reaction? At last I decided to come closer, but the USSR girl, as I called her in my mind, jumped towards the first girl and started telling her something while wildly waving her arms. The other girl, in turn, seemed confused and lowered her gaze, remaining silent. I would probably continue to observe their amusing dialogue, but the USSR girl suddenly pulled something out of her pocket and started waving it in front of the first girl's face. This something turned out to be a grasshopper. That's a bit mean, isn't it? Throw a grasshopper in her face? Eee! The first girl squealed. she was not too keen on insects, and as she instinctively rushed off towards the place where Lenin presumably made his speech about the workers' and peasants' revolution. I'm really not getting those references. That is to say, towards the square. Okay, thank you. You could have just said that. The USS Argo glanced at me, grinned playfully, and dashed after her. Not a bad start to the day. I have absolutely no clue where I am. Besides that, there are some kids here role-playing as pioneers. And as far as I can tell, this place is located thousands of kilometers away from home. It might even be a different reality. And this was indeed a reality. I mean, everything around me seemed so real, if a little embellished, that I was starting to think that the fact of my previous life could have just been a dream. What am I supposed to do now? Ellipses. What? I was picking at the cracked paving stones with my shoe and staring aimlessly at the club's building. So this dude, okay, the two chicks walk off, and this dude stands there. The screen went black, so a pretty decent amount of time, even if it's like 10 minutes. Dude just stands in front of the building and kicks the paving stones with his shoe and stares at the building. Like any person would do. Why would you do that? Why would you not go in? Like, it doesn't seem like there's anything wrong. And even if there is, like, they'll come to you eventually. You might as well just go to it. Just a few more seconds before I come up with some decision. Oh, he's so stupid. That's when I recalled myself rolling on the grass, weeping. I cringed in disgust. Me too. I did it when you were doing it. I still am cringing in disgust over the fact that that was even a thing. Perhaps it's another instinct. When all my energy from whimpering and self-pitying is used up, the body either goes into hibernation or mobilises. Mobilises? Pronunciation, man. Its reserves. Mine seemed to have chosen the second option, because out of the blue I felt determination to figure out what was going on. Should have felt that in the first place, dude. And in order to do that, I had to act like a man. Like a human. There you go. Good job correcting yourself. Like, only men should figure out what's going on. The women don't have to do anything. Fuck you. To maintain the dignity of a representative of my own world. Jeez. I followed the path to the left, on the right side of which stood small cabins, apparently the homes of the local pioneers. Actually, they look like quite cozy from the outside. They actually do look kind of cute. Even though I was born in the Soviet Union, I had never been part of its children's organizations, neither the pioneers nor even the younger October children, neither of which I know. I imagined the daily life of a typical pioneer camp a bit differently. Huge barracks with long rows of metal bunks, wake up at 6 o'clock, played by a siren, 1 minute to make your bed, then joining the formation at the drill square. Or wait, could I be confusing it with something else? Suddenly, something struck me on the back. I staggered but remained on my feet, turned around, and prepared to fight heroically for my life. This girl looks pissed. It's so bad, though. What I would do in these situations would be weird. Because I'd be like, oh, hey! What's up? If some chick just pounded me on the back, I'd be like, yo, what's up? How's it going? But all I found was another girl standing before me. My mouth hung open in surprise. Pick up your jaw off the ground, mate. I closed my mouth. The same pioneer uniform, but the way she was wearing it looked, well, provocative. Yeah, provocative. Like all the girls I had met here, she was rather cute. Of course they're all rather cute. Like, I mean, it wouldn't be a dating sim unless they were all freaking 10 out of 10s. But her overly arrogant expression killed any desire to get to know her better. Really? I wouldn't. The girls that are pissed off all the time are usually the cute ones. Just saying. Or at least in terms of personality. New here, are ya? Ellipses. Fine, see ya. See, look at that! She threw a threatening glance at me and walked past. That's not threatening. It's cute. I waited for the Pioneer girl to turn at the corner. Who knows what she might have been up to. The most interesting thing was that even this hostile girl seemed completely normal to me. She did not give off the feeling of some deadly danger. I mean, she probably would have, like... Oh, okay, except the danger of getting punched in the nose. Fair enough. Whoa. Oh, that's the dude! That's the dude that this guy keeps talking about. At last, I managed to make it to the square. There was no Lenin or on an armored car, though one could easily expect something like that after all this happened. Instead, however, a monument to a certain comrade towered in the middle of the square. The letters on the pedestal read Genda. Oh, it's a different person. Must be some big figure in the party. There were some small benches at the sides. It's quite pleasant here. Where did that girl tell me to go? To the left or to the right? To the left or to the right? To the left, to the right. Why am I going there anyway? Ah, that's right. I was going to pretend to be normal. So, to the right. That's the wrong way, isn't it? I'm like... To be fair, I probably would have forgotten by this point, too. Especially, you know, considering you stood in front of the goddamn building for like 10 minutes, kicking the ground like an idiot. If you would have just went straight there, we wouldn't have had this problem. Through a small grove, I came out at a pier. I must have taken a wrong turn. Yeah, you frickin' did. Hey, wrong way! I turned towards the voice. Ah. Dude, look at the water. The water right here. Look at this. It's freaking gorgeous. Dude, and the sunlight on the roof. Man. Man, can this scenery get any better? Oh, this chick's here. That's right. Now, what did I tell you? Take a left at the square, wasn't it? Yeah, I know. This guy's just an idiot. She had changed from her pioneer uniform into a bikini because she had that much time while you were kicking the freaking ground staring at a building. Just saying. Oh, I still haven't introduced myself. My name is Slavia. Actually, my full name is Slavana, but everyone calls me Slava. Slavia. Slaviana. Slavia. There you go. So you can too. Yeah. What? Where's the nice to meet you, Slavia? No? I was still a bit confused. I could not come up with more meaningful answers. So what's your name? I felt like she could see right through me. I'm, Semyon. I love her braids. Dude, I wish my hair could get that long, to be honest. I know it's a pain in the ass to take care of, but like... I've been growing mine out for like 4.5 years, and it's still like barely to not even to my mid-back yet. Nice to meet you, Semyon. Alright, I'm almost done here. Could you wait here a minute? I'm going to change. See? She's almost done! That's how long it took this guy to get to this freaking pier. And he left at the same time she did. Like, holy goodness. Like, this guy is so bad at everything. Could you wait here a minute? I'm gonna change and we'll go to Olga whatever that word is together. Agreed? Sure. After this exchange, she ran off. I sat on the pier and let my feet hang into the water. I was wearing heavy winter boots, but in such weather there was nothing wrong in getting my feet wet. Furthermore, it let me cool myself down a little. Looking at the river, I was brainstorming and processing everything that had happened. If this was some kind of conspiracy, it's a weird one, even too friendly at times. No, it really looks like a random event. Some entirely incomprehensible random event. Shall we go? Slavia was standing beside me, dressed in the pioneer uniform again. Yeah, let's go. I've been here for a very short time, but all the people I've met, she looks the least suspicious. It's always... Oh, yeah, there you go. However, this fact is always already suspicious in itself. See, I was going to say that. The least suspicious one is always the most suspicious. We walked to the square. The USSR girl and the girl who hit me on the back were there, chasing each other. Is this some kind of game they're playing? Ulana! Enough running! I'll tell everything to Olga Dmitrievna. Aye aye, Cap! I decided not to question Slavia for a while about what was going on or the local residents. Better meet with the mysterious Olga Dmitrievna first. It sounds like she's the boss here. We walked past the rows of identical cabins, some of which looked like fat beer barrels, while others looked more like household sheds. Finally, Slavia stopped in front of the smallish one-story cabin. It looked like an artist's painting. The faded paint chipping here and there with age was sparkling in the sun. The windows shattered, slightly ajar. The window shutters were slightly ajar, were swaying almost unnoticeably in the wind, and huge lilac bushes were growing at the sides. It seemed as if a ramshackle hut was drowning in a storm of purple silk, and the lilacs, like some elemental force, were inexorably destroying the troop leader's house. What are you standing around for? Let's go. Slavia snapped me out of daydreaming. And stop teasing Lena already. Holy shit, it's from Higurashi! Yo, is this the chick from Higurashi, isn't it? Rena. Yo, that was freaking creepy. I didn't expect, what's her name? Dude, what's her name from Higurashi? I don't remember. That was so random. What? Was that a reference or? Cause isn't her name Rena? Hold on, let me give me just a second. I gotta look this up. Rena Higurashi. Yeah, that's her name. She looks just like that. Is that a reference, or is like that gonna be part of the game? I didn't think this was a horror game. Indeed, a moment later, the door swung open, and Uliana ran out and dashed past with the same mischievous grin. Jesus, The pigtail girl came out next. Don't let it bother you, Lena. Her name's Lena. Gotta be thankful it's not Rena, at least. But I don't... Is that had to have been a reference then? If he's like, thank God it's not Rena. Like, I mean, what so, I'm confused. Is that really a Higurashi reference? That's freaking wild. Instead of finishing her sentence, she blushed and quickly headed towards the square. For some reason, I felt like turning and following her with my eyes, but Slavia said, come. We entered the cabin. Inside, it looked like something similar to what I had imagined. 2 beds, a table, a couple chairs, and a simple carpet on the floor and a wardrobe. Nothing special, but at the same time it felt homelike and cozy, although this room was almost the same state of disorder as my own flat. She's cute. I actually like her hair. I mean, I also like Slavia's hair, but... The girl standing near the window appeared to be about 25 years old. Okay. Nature had obviously gifted her with a pretty face and good body. Not all of us get that way, so I mean... What is with that poster? Look at this guy! Look at this guy! I don't know what that's from, but like... seems out of place. At least one thing can keep you happy in this pandemonium. The locals are beautiful. Ah, you're finally here. Excellent. My name is Olga Gentovana. I'm the camp leader. Nice to meet you. I'm Semyon. I decided to talk as if I wasn't surprised by anything that was going on. Holy shit, she came closer. Okay. We've been expecting you since early morning. You've been expecting me? Oh, yes, of course. When does the next bus come? 'Cause I gotta go. Why do you need it? Why would I need it? I guess I shouldn't ask direct questions. The people here might react to them quite unlike how I'd prefer. And I doubt I'd get any answers. No reason, just curious. By the way, where are we exactly? Our mailing address, I mean? I wanted to send a letter to my parents to let them know I got here okay. For some reason, I had the desperate idea that if I played along, I would find something out. Oh, but your parents called just half an hour ago and sent their regards to you. What? That is so suspicious. Now I'm worried. Like, at this point, like, now I'm worried. I wouldn't have got the Reina reference. I'm not sure. He didn't seem terrified, which means, you know, it's probably just in his mind. So can I call them? Because I forgot to tell them something before I left. No. She gave a sweet, spontaneous smile. Why not? We don't have a phone here. Then how did... Yeah. I've just come back from the district's central town. I talked with them there. So she's lying. And can I somehow get to the town? No. She kept the same smile. Why not? Because the next bus only comes in a week. I decided not to inquire how the troop leader managed to get there and back. I would get no answer anyway. Yo, that's sketchy. At this time, Slavia was standing next to me and seemed to find nothing odd about our conversation. Oh, we need a uniform for you. I've got absolutely no desire to put on a pioneer shorts or to wear a ridiculous red handkerchief. However, winter clothing in the summer isn't a great idea either. Right, thank you. I wonder if I'm the only one here who finds it strange that someone wearing a coat and winter boots in such heat. Rightio, then I'll be off, and you can get yourself acquainted with the camp. Don't forget to come to dinner in the evening. Having said that, she walked out of the cabin. No, walked isn't the right word. She rushed out. I ended up alone with Slavia. I must go. I've got things to do. Take a walk, look around the camp a bit. See you in the evening. If there was no threat or catch to this, then this reality, as embodied by Slavia, becomes more and more appealing. Ellipses. For the first time today, I realized that it was awfully hot here, though obviously my winter clothes were to blame for that. I took off my coat and dropped it on the bed. My pullover followed it. I was now wearing only the shirt. That's much better. All I could do now was follow their advice and look around the camp. I'll try and find something out in the meantime. This is sketchy as fuck. I'd probably try and talk to some of the other people and see their thoughts on why they're here and stuff. Passing the local resident district, I saw a pioneer guy coming my way. It's a dude! It wasn't really a pioneer guy and not a pioneer girl. Apparently there were men in this kingdom of Amazons. I thought it was just... Hey, you're new here. You must be Semyon, right? How do you... Everyone knows already. I'm Electronoc. What? Electronic. By the way, you a Pokemon? Because there's what? Electrike, and then there's like Electric, the freaking worm electric thing. I'm just gonna call you Electrike from now on. You even got the blonde hair, it works. The real one, you can call me that. Oh, electronic. I read that wrong. I'm still gonna call you Electrike. The real one. Things that were going from crazy to completely insane. Alright. Yolana also calls me Cheesy. Cheesy? On toast with mushrooms? What? Why? What? Because my last name is Cheesekov. I see. So let me show you around. I accepted his offer, as it would have taken me much longer to get to know this place all by myself. Sure, whatevs. I ended up at the square again, as if this place was all this was all there was to the camp. Lena was sitting on one of the benches reading a book. Electrike confidently approached her. Hey, Lena, I met the new guy, Semyon. He started briskly. Hi. Well, you could say we've already met in a way. Yes. She looked away from the book for a moment, glanced back at me, blushed, and went back to reading, as if not noticing that we were still here. All right, let's go on. I was first surprised by meeting this girl was reduced to a couple words, but then I thought it was better that way. Electrike's vigorous activity did not fit well with Lena's shyness. Yeah, sure, let's go. Next we came to a building which I instantly identified as the canteen. And this here? I know, this is where you consume organic food. Yeah, something like that. That seems sketchy, the way you answered that. Do you eat people here? Because if you are, then I'm leaving. On the canteen's porch stood an unfriendly girl who hit me on the back earlier. At the sight of her, my joking mood vanished in a blink of an eye. Really, now is not the best time to be pulling this guy's leg, even though he is quite hilarious. First, is he really that hilarious? First, I need to figure out what's what here, or at least where I am. Oh, over there, that's, Alyssa Deveshkovsha. Be careful around her. I like his scared face, it's kind of funny. He spoke in a whisper. Don't ever risk calling her Devchia. She doesn't like that. Oh, she heard him. What? What did you say? What did you just call me? She must have heard him. In the blink of an eye, Elisa jumped down from the porch and dashed towards us. Alright, you'll manage from here onwards. Electrike took to his heels. No, good luck, dude. Elisa, running past, stopped for a moment and growled, I'll deal with you later. Deal with me? What did I do wrong? I added a forced, guilty smile to my words. What am I guilty of? She made no reply and carried on chasing Electrike. Ellipses. Looks like I have to kill some time alone waiting for dinner. I decided to go east, at least the direction where east would be in my world. Yo, he deserved that. You could have easily said it after you left, or whispered it, like, in my ear, rather than different. Oh, see, there you go. This is football. I found myself near a football pitch. A game was in full swing there. I was watching it for a bit. Wouldn't do any harm. In my childhood and teen years, I was not a bad player myself. I even thought of going professional, but a few injuries in a row killed my desire to risk my health for the sake of an unknown chance in the game. Kids of different ages were running around the pitch. I could see a boy about 10 and a girl about 14 years old. A girl? Hey, that's Ulania. Alright, she plays football. What's so surprising? She seems a restless one after all. I was standing quite far away from the pitch, but she noticed me. What should I... Hey, you! Ulana shouted. Wanna play? I don't know how to answer. On the one hand, running around for 10 minutes is no big deal. On the other hand, any wrong move in this situation could be my final one. That's a bit sketchy. Are you gonna die? But in any case, my attire wasn't suitable for this weather. If I played in winter boots and warm jeans, I would sweat like a pig, and playing barefoot without jeans would be unethical. Maybe another time, alright? I shouted in response, turned around and walked back. I was followed by Lana's screams about my pants, or about me being pansy, or something like that. Okay. Ellipses. Evening was falling, making me feel tired and empty after a day wasted with no real purpose. Ellipses. I came back to the square, sat down on the bench, and gave an exhausted sigh. I'd better sit here and wait for dinner. After all, it's much easier to search for answers when you're not hungry. They do give food to the people here, right? You know, it's curious how the simplest human needs can break the will to ponder things, to strive for something. For example, if I feel hungry now, so I care much less about where I am or what's happening to me. You know, that's kind of fair. That's kind of true. I mean, to be fair, you were fucked up earlier. That's probably what lost you all that energy, was rolling around in the grass and crying. Which I still... Why? But could great people also be affected by this? Great people... In that case, how did Spartacus start the slave uprising in ancient times? This guy is an idiot. This guy is really stupid. I can only conclude that I am not a great person, and that it doesn't really matter what mechanism I serve as a gear in, society, the Matrix, or a weird pioneer camp. Ba-ba-ba! We're interrupted by the sounds of bells. That's not bells, that's a friggin' trumpet, chiming from a loudspeaker on a light pole. Must be the dinner call. I head towards the canteen. It was a good thing I knew where that was. Olga Dmitrievna was there, standing on the porch. I stopped and looked closely at her, as if I were expecting something. She looked back at me for a while, but at last came closer. Semyon, what are you waiting for? Come in already. Guess nothing bad can happen if I go with her. My stomach backed me up here. Okay, they're not going to eat me. Okay, that's good. The two of us went inside. The canteen looked like the canteen. Audible gasp. I had a chance to visit a factory canteen at some point in my life. This one was exactly the same, just maybe a bit cleaner and... Actually, does that say cleaner? It looks Diener. Oh, Diener and more modern. Metal chairs and tables, glazed tiles on the walls and floors, unsophisticated tableware with an occasional crack. Guess that's what a canteen in a pioneer camp is supposed to look like. Semyon, wait a moment. We'll find you a place to sit. She looked around the place. Devashya, hold it right there. Olga Dmitrievna shouted at Alisa, who was passing by. What? What is up with your clothes? Anything wrong with them? Indeed, her attire looked somewhat provocative. Get your uniform nice and neat right now, young lady. Alright. Alisa got her shirt right and walked past, shouting an unpleasant glare at me. Or shooting an unpleasant glare at me. So, where can we find you a place to sit? There weren't a lot of free seats. Over there, next to Ulania. Yes, it's fine. The food's already on the table, too. I had no other choice but to accept. Of course, there's the probability that the cutlets were poisoned with quer, and mashed potatoes generously seasoned with arsenic, and the grass filled with excellent antifreeze instead of compote. But it all looked so tasty, I had no chance to resist. Hi! What do you want? I replied rather rudely to Ilana, who was sitting right next to me. Yo, why didn't you play football with us? Because of my clothes, I said, pointing at the source of the problem. Alright then. You just get eaten. However, there wasn't really much left to eat. My cutlet was missing from my plate. Only she could have done it. No more precisely, none but Yulana could have done it. Give me back my cutlet. In a big family, you snooze, you lose. It can cost you a cutlet if you're careless. Give it back, I'm telling you. I should probably attempt to take it back, because if I don't, I feel like not only would he starve, but I feel like it's kind of, she's being playful. I looked at her menacingly and was about to reach out my hand. Say I don't have it. And indeed, Ulana's plate was empty. It seemed that this little girl eats as fast as she steals someone's cutlets. It was easy. We'll work something out now. She grabbed my plate and ran off. But there was no point following her. If they wanted to poison me here, they could have done it in a much easier way. About a minute later, Ulania returned and handed me a plate with a steaming hot cutlet on it. Here's one for the starving. Thanks. That was all I could say. I was so hungry that my suspicions were gone in a flash. I picked up the cutlet and fork and... Ah! Yo, I'd be dead. I'd legitimately just like the plate, the table, it would all be gone. What the? Some bug? No, not a bug. An insect. It's got legs and it's wiggling. The plate fell onto the floor and broke into pieces. The chair hit me hard on the leg while falling. I've disliked insects since I was a child, but when these creepy crawlies appear on my plate, that's just way too much. You little... Ulana seemed ready for a twist and was ready at the door, already at the door, laughing as she just as if she had just heard a fresh stand-up comedy joke. I dashed after her. We ran out of the canteen. We were just a few dozen meters apart, and I felt I could catch this girl easily. We ran through the square, past the club's house, ran into the forest path. I started to gasp for breath. I should have quit smoking, I guess. Oh, yeah, you should. Ulania passed out of sight on the next turn. It can't be true. She managed to get away from me? It simply can't. I mean, if you're smoking, you probably don't have a lot of stamina. I know that there are probably people who do, but it kills your lungs, dude. So, I stopped and tried to catch my breath again. Ellipses. Night was falling. Looks like I'm lost. It's a bad idea to stay in the woods at night. Better get back to camp. However, I had absolutely no clue on which way to go. We had to choose at random. Ellipses. Ellipses. I wandered for quite some time in the forest and thought of crying for help, but finally I saw the camp's fence beyond the trees. Everything fell back into place. The bus is gone, I mumbled quietly. On the other hand, there was nothing strange about that. The bus couldn't stay there forever. On the other hand, it meant that someone driving, because buses don't drive themselves. Or do they? See, that's what I said. This world seemed too normal, but every event here had at least two explanations for it. An ordinary, real, everyday explanation and a surreal one. Certainly the driver could have just been off for a snack and I left too soon. And that's why. In any case, this is not the place for me. Whether the bus drives itself or not was probably an important question. But it was much more important to know how I had got here at all, and where here was. The fields and woods stretching towards the horizon had no answers. There was nothing familiar about them. I think we already established that. Ellipses. A strange, odd, and alien world. However, at the same time, it was absolutely not frightening. Either myself... I mean, there was that one scene where you just flashed freaking Reina at me. That was kind of creepy, like, Jesus. Although I probably had no strength left to worry, all I wanted was some peace, calmness. I wanted to have a break from it all, and only after that would I continue looking for answers, ready and reloaded. However, that would be sometime later. What about now? Can I allow myself to relax? Ellipses. Shouldn't you head inside? It got completely dark, and in any case, it would be better to spend the night in camp. I was about to head back when someone came up slightly from behind. Oh, it's not Reina. Okay. You're not going to get your head chopped off. Thank goodness. Hello, what are you doing here so late? Ellipses. It was Slavia standing before me. I was so surprised that I jumped. You didn't catch Ulania, did you? She smiled, and nodded disappointedly and sighed. No wonder. No one ever has. Yeah, she's a real rocket girl. She could have found a better use for her energy than looking for adventures. You must be hungry. You didn't manage to have dinner after all. Indeed, I had forgotten about my hunger, but after these words of hers, my stomach drew attention to itself by giving a traitorous rumble. Slavia smiled. Let's go then. What, is the canteen still open? It's all right. I still have the keys. The keys? Yes, I have the keys to all the facilities in this camp. How come? Well, if something were to happen to camp's leader's aide here. Oh, I see. Well, let's go. It was an offer you can't refuse. Well, we reach the square. Slavia stops in her tracks. Excuse me, I should warn my roommate that I'll be late. She's so punctual herself that she'll be worried otherwise. You go on to the canteen. I'll come in a moment, all right? All right. I really didn't expect to find anybody aside from myself there at such a late hour. And that somebody was apparently hopelessly trying at the door. Without any secret thoughts, I walked up onto the porch. The lockpicker turned out to be Elisa. I should probably kept off and waited. She looked at me intently for a while and then said, Don't just stand there. Give me a hand or something. Meaning, open the door. Why? Because I want to get some buns and kefir. Dinner wasn't big enough. Is that really a good idea? Aren't you hungry yourself, eh? Alanya didn't let you have a normal dinner, did she? She smiled sarcastically. It's true, she didn't. That's fine. Slavia will come now and... What? I guess I shouldn't have said that. I'm off then. And you'll pay for this. You owe me 2 already. Having said that, Elisa disappeared to the night. What was the first one? Let's see. It's when you happen to be in the same area as Electrike there. Slavia didn't keep me waiting for too long. Is everything all right? Yeah, why are you asking? No reason, it's nothing. It'd be better if I didn't tell her about Elisa. Everything's fine. I said that and immediately heard a note of dishonesty in my voice. Shall we go? As for Slavia, she did not seem to have noticed anything, or at least she was pretending she hadn't. We entered the canteen. Wait a bit, I'll go get something. I sat down on a chair and obediently awaited my savior. Why does she look so freaking scary? Yo, and the main character looks so freaking... He doesn't have his beard like he did in the freaking previous. My dinner was simple, a few buns and a glass kefir. No wonder I bet hungry pioneers finish everything off. However, even that was far better than my usual diet. Slavio sat across the table and looked at me while I was eating. Is there something on my face? She just looked at the screen! She knows! Oh man, she knows I'm here. No, she smiled. How did you like your first day in camp? Well, I don't really know. It seems silly to ask someone who suddenly found themselves in a different reality whether he liked the food in the canteen, the camp leader, or his assigned hut. It's alright, you'll get used to it soon. Slavia stared at the window dreamily. She looks terrified. Frankly speaking, I have no desire to get used to such things, but as for her, she doesn't know. Or at least she wants me to think she doesn't. Well, all in all, it's nice here. I had to somehow break the awkward silence. Oh, do you think so? She asked without any interest. Yeah, this place is so, I wanted to say retro, but I managed to hold back. After all, it was retro for me, but what about them? It might be the only life they knew. If in the short term was it applicable here at all. So how... She watched me closely, as if something important depended on my answer. Well, I don't know. Lovely. Yeah, it's lovely here. I guess you're right. She smiled again. It's very good that you think so. Why? Well, not everybody likes it here. And what about you? Me? Yeah. I love it here. It's great. Then you don't need to worry about what other people think. Well, I don't really worry, Slavia laughed. This conversation seemed to be leading me far astray from where I wanted to get to. And you're worried yourself? Really? Why'd you say so? Well, when someone is chewing so intensely. Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. I couldn't bring myself to be more cautious around this girl. But why her in particular? Why not another local inhabitant? Every one of them looked so completely normal to me. Precisely normal, so normal it sends chills down my spine into the marrow. Normal. Not like a neighbor with a power drill in one hand and a subwoofer in the other. Not like a passenger you meet on the subway or public transport. Not like a coworker at the next table in an open plan office. And not even like a friend who only differs from other humans in his constant insistence. All of them looked blah blah blah, as I would expect them to. With their own downsides, but without any superpowers. And Slavia was also cute. I glanced at her stealthily, not knowing what to say. I'm sorry, I wanted to show you the camp, but I ran off my feet. I didn't miss anything while on my own, I guess. Oh, so you're sure you haven't missed anything at all? She smiled so brightly that I had to drop my eyes in confusion. Well, how would I know? It's my first day here. Okay, what have you seen so far? Well, I've seen the square, this canteen, the football field. What about the beach? Just from afar. You should really go there, or let's do it together. Sure, yeah. Her naturalness started to scare me. But then I thought, what if everything that happens here is how it's supposed to be, and this world looks strange only to me, while for them it's normal? Maybe I was thrown into the past? Yes, that would explain a lot. Can I ask this stupid question? No. See, this is sketchy, man. I don't know if I trust any of these people. The fact that they're not letting me ask questions, it starts to piss me off. Slavia smiled and stood up from the table. It's late. Can you find the way to Olga Demetria's by yourself? Of course I can, but why should I go there? She'll settle you with someone. What for? Probably this question seemed stupid because Slavia bursted into a good-natured laugh. You need to sleep somewhere, right? Well, that makes sense. Well, I'll be off then. Good night. Night. It's strange. She left in such a hurry. A bundle of keys left in the door lock caught my attention. I was going to catch up to Slavia, but where does she live? And knocking on every door in the middle of the night might not be a bright idea. I should probably take the keys. Leaving them... I could leave the keys in the door because everyone here seems to be on the same page together. So if I left it in the door, it wouldn't seem like I'm stealing them. But at the same time, I should probably just take the keys. I better take them and give them back tomorrow. Yep. Such thing gave me chills. It's me who needs to be careful here in the first place. The night, though dark, wasn't silent at all. I could hear chirping crickets, the songs of the night birds, and rustling trees from everywhere. A sudden desire to show Slavia's advice and go to the camp leader's cabin appeared. I'm kind of sketched out about walking around this place at night after seeing Reina. I'm like, something's gonna happen, someone's gonna die. I don't know, I feel like they would warn you if this was like an intense horror game, right? So, I don't know why, but the sight of the unknown bronze builder of communism put me in a constructive mood. I sat on the bench and started to recall everything that happened today. That was all my constructive mood could offer. Here was so much brighter than near the canteen. Tardy pioneers were running by, so this place didn't seem scary at all. Bus, summer camp, girls, I was so tired of everything new and strange that I could not come up with a single explanation for what was going on. I heard a barely noticeable rustle nearby. I shivered and looked in that direction. A girl, reading a book. Lena. I decided to move closer and talk. She was the only new person I had met here without exchanging even a few words. Hey, what you reading? She was so surprised that she jumped. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Oh, never mind. She blushed and stared at the book again. So what are you reading? On the cover was written, Gone with the Wind. I should probably praise the book. It's badass. A good book. Thanks. Honestly speaking, I haven't read it, but I think that such literature suits her very well. Lena didn't seem to be interested in continuing the conversation. Well, if I'm bothering you... No, she answered while still looking at the book. Can I sit beside you for a while? Why? And really, why? It's just because I was tired of having Maybe just because I was very tired and having company is better than being alone. And maybe I wanted to try to find something out about her. The quiet types remind me of myself, I'm not gonna lie. Being alone kinda, it's gotta be kinda sad. I carefully examined Lena. But no, I doubt that. Well, I don't know. Am I not allowed to? Oh, feel free. But if I'm bothering you... No, you're not. Can I can leave. Just say everything's alright. Okay then. I sat on the bench carefully. After such an intense talk, staying here was the last thing I wanted. But it wouldn't be nice to just stand up and leave. That didn't really go well, eh? Lena hadn't answered anything. It seems I made a fool out of myself. I bet if Ulana was here, she would have a good laugh at me. Do you enjoy being here? I recalled Slavia's question and thought it'd be good to start my own conversation. Yes, she smiled slightly. I guess I like it too. Lena definitely isn't very sociable and probably can't carry on a meaningless conversation as easily as Slavia, but there was something about her that attracted attention, like a momentary glimpse of a reflection in glass on a rainy autumn evening, which makes you turn around and stare into darkness, searching for something that you saw out of the corner of your eye. Of course, you weren't able to distinguish or understand what it was, but it felt so tempting. Lena was still reading the book without paying any attention to my presence, and I had no intention of asking her anything about this camp or this world in general. Beautiful night. Yes. How in the world do you start a conversation with this woman? It's late. I have to go. It is quite late. Good night. Night. There was something strange about this girl. At first glance, she seemed typically shy and a modest pioneer girl, but the mystery of Lena took its place in the massive list of mysteries about this camp, which I had started to put together in my head. Ellipses. A lazy evening. There was nothing like a good time with nothing to do. I headed towards Olga Demetria's cabin. Okay, last time I was here, I saw the picture of frickin' Reyna, so last night the light in the house was on. Ah, hello, Semyon. You're quite late. Yeah, I went for a walk to look around the camp. All right, you'll be sleeping here. She pointed her finger at one of the beds. Right here? I was a bit surprised. Yes, is there something wrong with that? We're out of free cabins anyway. The camp leader smiled, but I'd rather think it was just out of politeness. You do want to be a decent pioneer, don't you? There was a clear emphasis on the word decent. Yeah, sure. I was lost in thought for a moment. Don't you mind it, mademoiselle? She looked at me oddly, with surprise and some offense in her eyes. Pioneers should respect their elders, Olga Demetria said strictly. Of course he should. No one argues with that. I blathered, not realizing what was wrong. Shouldn't you also? She stared at me. Under such an intense gaze, even mithril forged by the best dwarf masters from the deepest dungeons would melt. Should I what? What's up, Toots? What is with this idiot? Oh my god, he's such a stupid... See, now all of a sudden he's confident. Before he couldn't talk to anybody, and he was like, oh, should I say anything? Should I even leave? Should I run away? And now he's like, oh, what's up, Toots? Annoyance and lack of understanding made me raise my voice. You must address adults properly and appropriately. Yes, of course, there are a lot of strange things here, but this girl is just a couple years older than me, or maybe even younger. But I decided not to argue. Well, just a few minutes ago, I would have never called her an adult. I have to admit, she is also given a strong character, and in which case I wasn't in a position to argue. As you say, ma'am, I mumbled. That's much better. That is how a decent pioneer should conduct himself. And now it's time to sleep. Honestly speaking, I was going to become neither a decent nor an indecent pioneer. Yes, yesterday I wasn't going to become a pioneer at all. But do I have a choice now? If you want to, we'll have. If you don't want to, we'll have to make you, is the motto Olga Demetria was probably going to use. I climbed into the bed and closed my eyes, only to realize how tired I was after the day. Something hammered in my head awfully, as if my brains were started its night shift, and they seemed to be aimed more at rolling steel than working on something more sensitive. The bus flew through my mind, and the square with the monument, and the canteen full of pioneers, and the malicious face of Ulania, Slavia, Lena, and even recalling Elisa didn't give me too much of a negative feeling. What if I'm here for good? Day 2. Oh, this giving me off a creepy vibe. I was having a dream. It seemed like I was in some sort of vacuum, but nothing was around me. And not only that, I was the only creature in the universe, and the universe had returned to a state of singularity right before the Big Bang, and something was just about to happen. Suddenly I heard a voice. I could not make out the words, but it sounded familiar. The voice was whispering so gently, as if soothing me. And then I realized it was the voice of the strange girl from the bus, the girl of the dream. But what was she trying to tell me? Who is she? I woke up. Bright sunlight struck my eyes. It was almost noon. After stretching lazily on the bed and yawning, I started to recall the previous day. In a few seconds, all of its events passed before my eyes. The bus, the camp, the local inhabitants. No, that's just wrong. Not this whole situation, not me being here. It's wrong by default. My attitude towards what was happening was wrong. Because yesterday I fell asleep just like that. And before that, I chatted nicely with local pioneers, even managed to crack a few jokes. How can I act like that in such a situation? I should be frightened, startled by every little rustling, and should avoid all contact with potentially hostile creatures. The last day's events were getting hazy, like I had a hangover. This really feels like the morning after a heavy drinking party. Yesterday's natural, flawless, and absolutely normal conduct becomes a nightmare in the morning, a grotesque illustration from the Divine Comedy. Yes, it's just like that. I can't change the past now. Then again, I had probably assumed the situation was acting accordingly. I glanced around, trying to figure out whether I had been thrown somewhere else, but Olga Demetria's cabin looked the same as yesterday. Everything seemed to be in its place except for a pioneer uniform, which was hanging from the bedhead. I fumbled with it in distrust and tried it on. At least it was better walking around than walking around in winter clothes. I wish I could see myself. I bet I look like a clown. And for that I needed a mirror, at least a tiny one. I found one on the wardrobe door. Holy! I looked at the newfound pioneer and jumped away in surprise. There was some teenager on the other side of the mirror. He resembled me, but he wasn't. Where did this week's stubble go? Where did the bags under my eyes, the slouch, the deathly fatigue of my face? It seemed that I had not been thrown back in time or into a parallel reality, but instead had simply changed bodies with someone. Right, that's real simple. Such things happen every day. I took a closer look at the stranger, and then I realized that it was actually me. It just wasn't today's me. Maybe one from my school or university years? Well, at least that's something. There you go. A person in an extreme situation did fail to notice the elephant in the room after all. But the camp leader noticed it, and last night she told me off for addressing her without proper respect. Screw that. I doubt any appearance affects anything else. If the clock was lying, breakfast was over. Oh well, I gotta try and find something in the canteen. It worked out yesterday with Slavia, didn't it? Those memories made me smile involuntarily. The sun was shining brightly outside, a light breeze was blowing, a beautiful summer's day. I had not felt so good in the morning for several years. All problems were gone, vanished into clouds that were white as snow. Olga Demetria came out of nowhere. Good morning, Semyon. Morning. I smiled, doing my best to show that, no matter what, my morning was indeed good. You only arrived yesterday, so I decided not to wake you up, but breakfast... Never mind. Here, take this. She handed me something wrapped in paper. Judging by the oily stains, there had been a sandwich inside. Oh, thank you. Now go wash yourself. I was about to leave. Wait a second. Ultimate quickly came into the house and came out to shove a small bag into my hands. Inside it, I found a toothbrush, soap, a small towel, and something else. I did not look too closely. A pioneer should always be clean and tidy. Let me do your handkerchief properly this first time. Yours is askew. You should do it yourself once you learn how to. Do we have to? I'm gonna wash myself up now. Yeah, right. It could have been hooked on the tap and strangled me. Fine, later then. And don't forget about the lineup. Pencils, paper, drawing lines. Don't forget such things. What lineup? What do you mean, what lineup? She frowned. It's Monday today. Weird, by my approximation, it should have been Sunday. Then again, a shift in the day of the week is hardly the worst thing. Usually we have lineups in the morning before breakfast, but it's Monday today, so we're having them at 12 o'clock. Don't be late. Where? At the square, where else? There was no reason to argue. I headed to the bathing place. I knew I could forget about the separate showers and toilet, but at first sight of this malfunctioning symptom of decaying socialism, a funny turtle with a tin shell, paw taps, and a caramelic belly, I felt sick. I was not a squeamish person, but nevertheless, everything there, I realized that there was still some minimal level of habitual comfort, which I found it troublesome to do without. Okay, so... I'm kind of confused, but it's kind of boring, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm trying to make it exciting, but I'm not gonna lie, the way that this has been going so far, definitely have had more fun with other novels. It's often like that when you lose things that you thought were ordinary and common, you suddenly understand just how essential they were. Ah, screw this, if I have any choice. The water was ice cold. While washing my hands was not an issue, washing my face and mouth became a big problem. There was no toothpaste in the bag which Olga Demetria gave me. I could brush my teeth without it, but there was a small round box wrapped in a towel. Tooth powder? Cute. 1 point for me being somewhere in the past. I washed myself quite quickly, also due to the ice-cold water. Someone was coming quickly, or more like running towards me. I turned around. It was Slavia, dressed in a tracksuit. The girl would probably look good in anything. Pioneer uniform, bikini, and probably even a spacesuit. Hey there. Ohio! Wait, what? This guy watches a lot of anime, in Russia no less. That's pretty neat. Ohio! Good morning, yeah. Oh yeah, real smooth. Why didn't you come for breakfast? I overslept. I said it as if I was proud about it. But old Dementia gave me some sandwiches. Ah, that's great. Don't forget about the lineup. Yep, sure. As if I could forget. Right, gotta run. Enjoy yourself. I waved goodbye. She waved goodbye to me and disappeared at the path's bend. Looks like it was just a couple minutes until lineup. I should quickly pass by my home to drop off my washing bag and eat the sandwiches and then head to the square. I swung open the door of the camp leader's cabin and rushed inside, as if jumping into the last car of the departing train. It didn't turn out to be the best day because inside I found Olga Dementia, who was changing. I froze on the spot, trying not to breathe. The camp leader finally noticed me. Semyon! I looked away immediately. Have you heard of knocking? Now get out! Yeah, that was real clumsy, although I did enjoy the sight. Come on. Olga Demetria followed me out in a minute. Here, take this. Now it's your home, too. She handed me a key. I put it in my pocket. Home. Of course, if you disregard how fantastical the current events were, this camp was far from being the worst place on Earth, but to call it home, after just one day here, I doubt I'll ever be able to do so. Alright, let's go, we're late. But what about the sandwiches? Just eat them on the way. We were passing along the lines of the pioneers' cabins while I was tucking into the ham sandwiches, and Olga Demetria kept on talking and talking. She was buzzing like a game of Operation with Parkinson's, but I cared about nothing but the food. Understood. Huh? Were you even listening? Sorry. Today is the first day of your new life as a pioneer. You should start to do your best so that it becomes a happy life. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm serious. A pioneer has duties. Great responsibility has been conferred upon him to participate in a social work to help his juniors to study and study and study again. We here are all like one big family, and you will become part of it. Yeah, part. I'd like to sign a party membership card. It could save me from listening to this nonsense. I hope that after your term is over, you will keep the most pleasant memories about our camp. Memories that will last you your whole life. And when will this term end? Why do you keep asking such silly things? It seems I won't get any information out of her. Shame, really. This world appears so friendly, but it never bothered to introduce itself to me. Perhaps now I should take things easier than yesterday? It seems that, like, I have some unspoken ceasefire with it. It isn't trying to hurt me, but I'm forbidden from asking questions. Of course, this situation isn't a pleasant one. Yeah, I'd be like fumbling around with like information, trying to figure out where I am or what's going on. Just because I'm like that, I'm easily pessimistic and nervous about things. So like, I would when you start declining me information, that's when things get a little crazy. The most important thing for you now is to make sure the best of the time you spend here. I will do my best. Honestly, I was tired of this conversation. It would be good to know where here is, but we came to the square. The pioneers were all already lined up. What, is somebody not here yet? Nope, all here. She looked around at the brave pioneer troops. Alright, let's go stand somewhere. Weird. Why did she tell me there was no more sleeping places? While the chief was running her mouth and about our plans for the week, I stared at the people. A few heads away from me was Electric. A little further, Lena, Slavia, and at the end, Ulana and Alisa. Everyone I had met was here. Olga Demetria spoke about some competitions, and I turned my attention to the monument. Genda. I could not remember any revolutionary with a similar name. He had a weird posture, too, as if looking around with distrust, maybe even contempt or disdain. Probably some local leader. Daydreaming again? Slavia brought me back to reality. Olga Demetriov stood nearby. Still remember the plan for this week? The plan? I'll never forget the plan. Perfect. She looked around at Slavia. Did you bring it? Yes. She handed me a piece of paper. It's a checklist. Here are your 4 tasks to check off. Do it all today. Before you start, sign up for a club. There are some clubs at the clubhouse and a musical club in a separate building. Then visit the infirmary. And finally visit the library. Got it? Yes. The checklist seemed to be a good chance to find out something, since I had to go to places I hadn't been before. Then come on, start right now. What about lunch? Don't worry. I'll bring you some more sandwiches. The checklist is far more important. Good luck. They departed too fast for me to ask anything else. Missed breakfast and now I missed lunch too? This ain't good. Maybe I'll manage in time somehow. Lunch starts at 1 p.m. Then again, if I'll go there and I miss a place from the checklist... Okay, it's too early to go to the canteen anyway. What did she say first? Shit. I know that the infirmary was like third. Ah, shit. Um. Okay, so she wanted me to start off by going to the clubhouse, right? To 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 get a club. I went to the clubhouse. To tell you the truth, I never really liked extracurricular activities. At school, I used to find any excuse to skip extra classes. At university, I had no interest in participating in the student council. I wasn't interested in boxing, modeling, or sewing. Aero modeling? What? So I came up just to check off the box. Nobody was there. I found myself in something like a hut of a junior robot enthusiast. There were wires and simple printed circuits scattered everywhere, chips in a ton, and on the table proudly stood an oscillograph. I heard voices from another room, and then two pioneers appeared. One was Electrike, and the other I didn't know. "Hey, Simeon, we've been expecting you." It seems like he knows everything about anyone. Why were you expecting me? Well, of course, because you had to sign your name up for our cybernetics club, didn't you? He didn't let me answer. And this is Shurik. He's in charge here. I assume there's only you two in the club? Well, you can't. Well, you could say that there's three now. Shurik came up and assertively offered his hand. His face was somewhat familiar. Welcome to the club. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna show you around. Make yourself at home. Guys, I just wanted to. We're always welcoming new members. He said it in such a way that the anthem of the Soviet Union suddenly started playing in my head. It's amazing. I even remembered the words. In first grade, I had a textbook with the lyrics in the back. No, I just wanted to sign my checklist. Oh, yeah, you sign up to the club, we'll sign your checklist. He grinned. He was getting ready for a long, boring argument, but then I heard someone enter. I looked back and saw Slavia. Hey, Simone, I hope they're not giving you any trouble. She narrowed her eyes, looking at the future of the motherland's robotics industry. I know these two. They can. Well, actually, I just need to get my checklist signed. I decided to take advantage of the situation. No problem. Give it to me. Slavia took the paper and marched up to Shurik. Sign it. Hold on. We're not done yet. You're done. Sign it now. Dude, I like Slavia, not gonna lie. She's kind of a badass. She gave Shurik such a threatening look that it made him lose every possible objection. He wrote some squiggles on the checklist. I thanked Slavia and moved on with a mellow mood. Okay, so we don't have to go to the music club because we got to choose between either the clubhouse or the music club in a different building. So if I remember correctly, the library was second, and then infirmary, and then the dining hall was last if we can make it there in time. Actually, I love reading, but spending my days in a library under the current circumstances was well beyond my scope, so I better hurry up with this checkpoint. As I stepped inside, a memory of my childhood emerged in my head. It was very vivid. I'm 7 or 8 years old. I'm at the library with my mother. While she's looking through my books I might need for my studies, I'm sitting in the corner looking at through the collection of comic books. Back then, I didn't know why they had so many, and or why I couldn't take some with me. The notion of collective property was something I hadn't grasped at that age. However, back then the whole concept of property was pretty hazy to me. The memory seemed to be even stranger now, while I was standing in this particular camp, where they might have managed to build communism in 3 years. Soviet symbolism was all over the place, and the shelves were full of related literature. Of course, I wasn't planning on reading any of these. Getting acquainted with a full collection of books by Marx was the last thing on earth I could think of. Where's the librarian? I didn't want to spend much time looking for her. I looked closely. Short hair, thick glasses, rather cute face. She was snoring so peacefully I just couldn't wake her up. I can. If she doesn't wake up in half an hour, maybe then. I couldn't just sit here, so I took a random book from the bookshelf. Arthur Schopenhauer, The World as Will and Representation. I opened it roughly in the middle and started reading. Why? The life of man, with the endless upkeep, wants, and suffering, is to regarded as the explanation and paraphrase of a proactive at the absolute claim of the will to live, and furthermore, it is the reason that the man owes nature his death, and thinks with anxiety and of doubt. Is this not evidence that our existence involves guilt? Holy she's... Oh, someone knocked at the door. Thank God. It's okay. I closed the book quickly and put it back in its place. What a nice habit, knocking on the door. I should pick it up. It was Lena. Oh. Hey! Sup? I smiled. I just wanted to return a book. She had a copy of Gone with the Wind that I saw yesterday. Oh, Ziena's sleeping. I'll come back later. I'm awake! I turned around in surprise to look at her. She eyed me closely from behind her table. What is it you wanted? I just need you to check here. Give it to me. She quickly signed the paper and gave it back to me. She had this look on her face like she wanted me to keep quiet. Lena came over to return the book, and I thanked Xenia on the way out. And then the infirmary is third. Looks like we missed the dining hall. What's the point in visiting the infirmary? My health was fine, and the fresh air clearly did me some good. I felt fresher than usual. But I just have to visit it. So I entered. Oh, the common infirmary like my school's doctor room. Whoa! She has a red eye! That's badass. This room looks interesting. What is that on the floor by that bed? Is that like a vacuum or a little dustpan? And what is that? Wait, what is that on the wall? That doesn't look like a person. Look at its head. Is that like a person modified by something? A middle-aged woman sat at the table. Obviously, she was a nurse. Obviously. She gazed intently at me, assuring me while continuing to write something. Hello, Pioneer, said the nurse while being distracted with her work. Good afternoon, ma'am. I have something... Sit down, please. I looked around the room. On the couch. I sat down. Strip. She said it with such an even tone. Why? To inspect, to oscillate, to check your health, you know. By the way, my name is Violetta, but you can just call me Viola. She turned to me. What are you waiting for? I said, strip. But I have no health issues. I've got this. I neatly gave her the paper. Later. She took out the stethoscope on her neck, seeming like she intended to probe me with it. But then someone knocked on the door. The nurse answered unwillingly. Come in. In a moment, the door opened widely, and Electric rushed inside. Holy shit! Oh. You fell during a... Hey, I fell during a football game. Nonsense, of course. I'm okay, but Olga Demetra... There was a massive bruise under Electric's eye. I doubt that this could be a football injury. Sit down, I'll have a look, she said to him. And you, pass me your checklist. The nurse quickly signed it and continued. If something hurts, come immediately, Pioneer. I decided not to answer and went out, closing the door behind me. That nurse is surely something else. Okay. Wait, but okay, I guess we'll go to the music club, a small one. Was located some distance from the other camp buildings. I opened the door and entered without hesitation. There was enough instruments for a whole orchestra here, drums, guitars, and even a piano. I spent some time looking closely at every instrument, wanting to guess the time period that they were from, but suddenly I heard a crawling sound from underneath the piano. It's Miku! A girl. Seems like she was looking for something. She was standing on all fours in such a suggestive pose that I hesitated to speak at first. Excuse me! Who's there? Ooh, God, I felt that. Oh. She tried to stand up, but from the bottom of the piano prevented her from doing so. Itai? She struggled out. Sorry, I scared you. It's Miku. Oh, it's nothing. You've got your checklist. You must be new here. Yeah. My name is Miku. Oh my god, it is Miku. They literally just put Hatsune Miku in the game. Why? I didn't know her name was actually going to be translated to Miku. No, really, I'm serious. No one believes me, but it's my real name. My mother is Japanese. My dad met her when he was building. Well, it wasn't him who was building. He was an engineer, and he was working on a nuclear power plant there, or a dam, or a bridge, or whatever. She was talking so fast, she swallowed half the words she tried to pronounce. I'm Semyon. Oh, great. Do you want to be in our club? It's only me here now, but it was two of us then. Do you want to play anything? When I became antisocial, I bought a guitar and learned a few chords, but then I forgot all about it, since I quit everything that required more than a couple hours to learn. Jeez, what a... Again, he's an idiot. I don't get how anyone's gonna fall in love with this guy. I'm gonna have to help him out. I'm gonna do him some justice. You know, I wasn't planning to do anything like that, really. Oh, it's okay, I'll teach you. Maybe a trumpet, for example, or a violin. You know, I know it all, really. There was no point in arguing with the orchestra girl, since there was... With Miku, you just say Miku, 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 Uiu, since there was only another cascade of words waiting to blast at me. Hey, I'll think about it. Can you just sign it for now? Oh, yes, give it to me. I'll be sure to come around. I'll sing too. I'll sing some Japanese folk songs, or maybe if you're not into that, something more contemporary. Sure, I gotta go. Of course, come back anytime. I love her blush, it's cute. At the end of her sentence, I stayed inside. It might be nice to hang out with a guitar in the evening, but in such company... I turned to leave when I came face to face with Elisa. She eyed me suspiciously. Why did you come? The checklist. You got it signed. Yes. Then move it. Elisa went inside and I hurried to leave the place. Ah, so Miku's friends with Elisa. Ellipses. Finally, I got all the signatures. Now I just had to go back to Olga Demetria and give it to her. She was sitting on the front of her cabin reading a book. Doesn't look like a role model for a perfect pioneer that she was planning to turn me into. I wonder if her responsibilities extended beyond giving fiery speeches at lineup, scolding Ulania, and getting involved into my moral and physical ideological growth. Here, I offered her the checklist. She placed it in her pocket without even looking at the signatures. Great. I could have signed it myself without anyone knowing. Perfect. Did you meet our nurse? Yes. For some reason, her question sent shivers down my spine. Which club have you signed up for? I didn't. I really need to think about it first. That's a pity. It's vital for you to sign in somewhere tomorrow. Of course, sure. Right. It's time to go to dinner. About time. I was getting so hungry. I headed to the canteen together with Olga Demetria. I looked at the sky and noticed the sun was already setting. On the porch stood Alisa and Electrike, Eulania and Slavia. As we came up, I heard what they were talking about. You said, or never call me Davachi again, or you'll get another one. I didn't call you that, you're hearing things. He did hear. I heard it all. You weren't even there. I was in the bushes. Come on, you guys, stop it. So it wasn't a football injury Electrike suffered earlier today. The nurse did a good job. I couldn't even see his black eye. Wow. How do you heal a black eye like that? That doesn't... What? Like, even past, future, it doesn't matter. What the... He doesn't have a black eye at all? Olga Demetria came up to them and asked about the ruckus. What exactly is going on here? Elisa and Cheese Cobb. I didn't do anything. She shrugged with apathy and went inside. Yeah. Right, dinner time. I entered last. There weren't too many free seats. There were few chairs near Elisa across the canteen, but I'd rather starve for a week or two than risk heading near her. There was also a seat near Alanya, but I'm not really into traditional Chinese whatever crawls cuisine. Finally, there was a chair named Miku. Yes! But it looks like I have to pick my poison. You mind if I sit here? Miku! I love Miku. Whoa. I think we'll go with her for now. I like how she's super fast. Oh yeah, sure. No, I don't mind. Yeah, I mean, you can sit here. I sat down. Look, it's buckwheat today. Do you like buckwheat and chicken? I don't like chicken. Well, I don't know that I don't like it. Well, but if you ask me what I would prefer, say stroganoff beef and ragout, and no, wait, maybe just a hamburger or rump steak. Do you like rump steak? I'm not really that picky about food. And that's the simple truth. Oh, is that so? But there's desserts, you know, they aren't really good here. But I like ice cream. Do you like ice cream? And I love 48 kopecks and Lingardsko. Oh, and I can stop talking. I keep talking about myself. Maybe you like Eskimo better? Dinner was starting to get on my nerves, thanks to such company. Why? She's cute. I'm not the kind of person that can just ignore someone who's talking to them. Even her. We're at the same table, after all. I know, I once bought a waffle cone and I started eating, and then, you know what? I found a screw there, a real screw, and, you know, imagine that. Or was it a bolt? I don't really know. Screws are just those things that you tighten with screwdrivers, and bolts are the ones you turn with a wrench, right? If there was a speeding contest going on, I'd probably be in the top 3 winners by now. Right, I'll be going. Enjoy your meal. I got up and headed outside. Why? Mika was saying something, but her words were drowned out by a cloud of loudy dining pioneers. We do get to choose our route, right? I went outside and sat on the stairs, waiting for my dinner to settle down a bit. I just sat there and watched night falling. Everything seemed so lively during the day. Kids laughing and yelling happily, fooling around and running around, constant chatter, games going on, and swimming at the beach. But after dark, the camp changes entirely. The sounds of the day were swapped for silence, and now and then broken by crickets chirping or a night bird. The camp was going to sleep. In every shadow you could see things, maybe a ghost or a spirit in the forest or a wild animal or a human being. That would be the last thing to expect. That is how it looked at night. And now the locals followed their routine very strictly. In the day, the camp was theirs. In the night, it belonged more to the focuses of nature than to humans. Someone touched my shoulder. I looked back. It was Electrike. Let's go play cards. Cards? Yeah, I invented a new game, a good one. Good like how? Well, first we gotta find the cards and then I'll tell you. Then go find them. What's the problem? Only Olga Demetria has them and she won't give them to me. Why so? Well, the last time when Olga Demetria and Slavia came out on the porch. Olga Demetria! Shaymin, just wanted to ask you about the possibility of getting to playing cards. Actually, for what purpose? We invented a new game. Not we, you did. What game? I need the cards to show you. I don't like this. Well, if Simone is with you, then perhaps it's okay. To be really honest... Oh, we'll go fetch them together, Olga Dimitrov. Let's go with Slavia. I mean, I like her and see if you don't mind... Sure, let's go. We headed towards my cabin. Roughly halfway, Slavia stopped. Hey, I just remembered. The cards are in my cabin. Good timing. And where's that? It's just down the road. Let's go. Ellipses. We reached the cabin. In fact, looked more like a trailer. Just wait here a minute. I'll be back. It took her a few seconds to come back. There. She showed me a deck of pretty worn-out cards. These must be marked in and out. That's unsportsmanlike. What happened to fair play? Tell me about it. It's hard to cheat when you don't know the rules. Shall we go? Let's go. Ellipses. Why haven't I given the keys back yet? On our way back, I decided to try and find out about something. How long have you been here? In this camp? Oh, about a week. I see. Where did you come from? The north. That is the cold north. Okay, looks like no one in this camp is inclined to answer even the most innocent of questions. I tried to approach another angle. What do you like? What do you mean? Well, your hobbies. Oh, I like nature. She seems like someone who likes nature. Strange. She's not very talkative today for some reason. Nature, I see. Do you want to be a natural historian? More like a normal historian. I've always been interested in our nation's history. That would suit her well indeed. It appeared that among even all the locals, she was the only one who had nothing to hide. What if she just came here like me and simply could not trust anyone enough to tell? I tried testing the waters. Why did you choose the camp? I didn't. My parents got a voucher for me from their work. Another failure. Well, if you could choose, it's nice here. I don't think I would choose some other place if I could. Here, it's like you are becoming a normal person. Another person. That wasn't how I saw it. But, oh, what do you mean by another person? It's just that there are so many possibilities. You can learn so much, meet so many new interesting people. She started to sound like our chief, which raised a red flag for me. I decided to stop with the questions for now. Probably a good idea. Her and Olga seem... I don't know if I trust them. When we came back, Olga Dmitriev told Slavia, I just remembered that the cards were at your place. That's okay, we got it. Ah, good. Slavia and Olga Dmitriev went inside. I was going to follow them, but someone grabbed my hand. Elisa? Her gaze sent a shiver down my spine. Not a nice one. Do you need something? I asked carefully. You're gonna play this stupid game? Yeah, is there something wrong with that? Nope, nothing. She was turning to leave, but then slowly looked back and smiled. So you play cards? A little. Couldn't figure out what she wanted. So only Duroc and that's it? As if you're a poker star? Well, technically. Then you don't have a chance. Why? Because. So you know the rules? Of course. Then you'll have the upper hand. I couldn't see why would we go on talking and mention towards the door. Why do you keep trying to leave? Is there something else you want to talk about? Let's make a bet. What do you mean? You're such a slowpoke. The cards, what else? And what do you want to bet on? That I'll win. That's quite a possible outcome. I agreed calmly. So you're afraid? Nah, it's just I'm not really big on bets when I don't like my chances. And you're not big on taking risks either. Such an absolute astute observation. I'm impressed. Right, then No, you're not. Well, now what? I sighed in exhaustion. She was starting to annoy me with her rubbish talk about some pointless bet. Okay, now I can agree with the main character. She keeps stopping him. Either tell me what you want, or just shut up. If you won't make a bet with me, I'll tell everyone you tried to seduce me. What? You heard me. I could imagine her doing this. Don't be stupid. Who's gonna believe you? I've been here less than 2 days, besides. I'm gonna try your luck. Right. And what'll happen if I win? I won't tell anyone anything. And if I lose? Slowpoke mode again? I'll tell everyone you tried to seduce me. I told you already. So you're telling me now that I have to work to prove that I didn't do something which I didn't actually do. If that's how you want to look at it, not a simple decision. On one hand, it was stupid to agree. I don't know the rules and gambling wasn't really my thing. On the other hand, she can make my life a living hell. But again, can I even trust her? Can she do it even if I win? So, yeah, have you made a decision? I was going to answer, but suddenly Lena came around from behind. What? Nothing. Then I hurried inside. So? Shit. I feel like this could be very bad if I choose not to take the bet. But I feel like if I take the bet and lose, it'll be the same outcome, ultimately. So all we're doing is really skipping a scene. I'm gonna say, don't make this bet. I'm not gonna participate in your shady business. Sorry about that. You wuss! She shrugged and went upstairs, but she went inside and she flung at me, prepared to face the consequences. Consequences? What if I made the wrong decision? After all, she could really complicate things for me here. On the other hand, I couldn't allow myself to be pulled into something so reckless. I let out a huge sigh and followed through the door. Inside, everything was ready. A few pioneers stood there, here and there chatting. The tables were moved out of the way and to make room for players and spectators. I looked around. Something was going on in the far corner. I came closer and saw a large piece of paper with a diagram on it, drawn on it. My name was among the players. And who came up with all this? I patted Electric, who was standing nearby. Oh, well, of course. It was your most humble servant. He bowed to me jokingly. This made me uncomfortable to the point of squirming. And why in the world am I among the players, then? I was disappointed. A few seconds ago, I thought I still had a slim chance to evade this tournament entirely. Then I felt like the fear of Alyssa's revenge would not be betting for her, but now the hope was gone. It's pure coincidence. All right, coincidence. Everything that I was acquainted with every one of these contestants. While there were a few dozen other pioneers standing in the room, I was seized by anxiety. It's the feeling of being watched while suddenly in an empty room with no windows and doors. I can feel that. Will there be a prize? I asked him lazily, wanting to distract myself with points of conversation. Electric was about to answer, but Ilana came out of nowhere and started jumping around him. Prizes! Prizes! I heard something about prizes. Do you know what the main ethos of the Olympic Games? Oh, what? No. You'll understand when you grow up. She made a wary face and jabbed Electric in the ribs. So what about this prize? Well, I don't know. It's not up to me. He made a hopeless gesture. Really, if they can come up with a stupid game, at least they can come up with to give the winner a chocolate medal or something. What is going on? Why are we in the middle of this card game? Ulana suddenly jumped and raced off somewhere. Wish I was that optimistic. So, what about the rules? Wait a bit. Not everyone is here yet. I looked around the canteen. Alisa, Slavia, Lena, Miku, and Shurik are all here. It seems like everyone is here. Not everyone. Zahana isn't here. Does he feel uneasy, or is it just me? She's not here, so what? Pick someone else instead. No, I can't do that, he answered slowly. I decided not to ask why he couldn't do this. Oh, go fetch her or something. I don't know. He can't go. He's the host of the event. The camp leader appeared as if out of nowhere. But I will go to Mentria, Electric whined. Semyon will go, right, Semyon? She looked at me and smiled. Of course, who else? Where is she? In the library, I guess. Okay, I dragged my feet towards the door. Please hurry. What's Electric's problem anyway? Night is coming soon. I was gonna take my time, so I slowly paced towards the library. When I found Zahara before I expected, she was sitting on the bench of the square, staring at Genda, who was silent as always. What exactly are you doing here? Everyone is looking for you. Oh, what exactly are you doing here? Everyone's looking for you. Sitting here, as you can see. She frowned. Well, let's go. I don't want to. She looked away. Why not? I don't want to. I sat beside her. I mean, that's fair. I'd be like, okay, no, looks like she ain't coming, guys. Sorry. Oh, well. Listen, I don't like the idea of a contest by myself, but we can't let everyone down. Surely I didn't sound like myself there. A couple days ago, I wouldn't have even said something like that. Sarah looked at me with a surprise on her face. So, everyone's waiting for me? Isn't that exactly what I said? Yes. I won't go anyway. She frowned and hid her face. But why? I gestured with my arms, wondering. I don't know how to play cards. So what? Same problem here. Then how can you play? What? Can you only do things that you read about in books or something? Of course. And what if you ended up in Antarctica and had to rely on hunting a polar bear to survive? Polar bears don't live in Antarctica. Zenya smiled. Doesn't matter, it's just an example. Come on, it's not like life or death depends on the result. She took her hand to time to think. I just don't want to let everyone down. Right, I agreed sarcastically. Don't you think anything funny about it? Oh my god. Obviously, everyone has their weak spots. Ooh, okay. I think that's about it for this live stream. I don't know when I'll be back for this, but thank you all for watching this episode. Make sure you guys click that thumbs up button down below for me and leave a comment. What do you think about the predicament we found ourselves in this story? And well, I'll see you all next time.